Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy H. Wynn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3. J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4.
Here.
Constitutes a quorum.
Thank you. Our invocation today will be delivered by the Reverend Samuel McIas of the La Trinidad United Methodist Church in Fort Worth. After the invocation, please remain standing for our pledges. Reverend, thank you for being here today.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the invitation. The scripture says everyone must obey state authorities because no authority exists without God's permission, and the existing authorities have been put there by God. Let's pray. Our good God, we give you thanks this day, but today help us to see from the eyes of the people before we act and judge. Help us understand the people who need justice and direction. Help us to be a better society. The authority invested in the people of this court is a great responsibility. That your wisdom guide them through their work, and your special protection be upon them always. Give them peace and rest after a hard day of work, so each day have the strength to continue their duties. And thank you, Lord, for the opportunity and honor to bless this special place and its people. We pray this in your name, Lord. Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Agenda announcements, Mr. Mayes?
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the court, we have one announcement as it relates to today's agenda. That's under the Criminal District Attorney section, item 8E2. We're going to ask that we hold that particular item for 1 week. Also, would like to remind the court that next Tuesday is our annual Thanksgiving luncheon, and so immediately after court, we will have our luncheon in room 504C. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court members, you have before you the minutes of our regular meeting of November the 10th.
Move approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Commissioner Wynn. Motion passes unanimously. We have a couple of proclamations today. Our first proclamation is for Adoption Day, and I believe Heather Ogier is here, as well as Linda Garcia. If y'all come forward, I will read the resolution and then come down and present that. Whereas there are thousands of Texas children who have been abused, neglected, or abandoned by their natural birth parents, and more than 1,300 of these children are in Tarrant County. And whereas many of these children's only hope for a full and productive life are to be accepted by loving homes, and whereas adoption allows children to be reared in a safe, loving, and nurturing environment, as adoptive parents take on the role of guiding, teaching, nurturing, and loving children in order to provide them the best possible chance for being productive citizens. And whereas we commend these families for the sacrifices they are willing to make to enhance the lives of these children, and whereas the children being adopted today by these loving and special families will have a new chance in life to fulfill their hopes and dreams, and whereas this is a special day to celebrate and to send our best wishes to children whose adoptions are made final today and to the wonderful families who will give them unconditional love. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby proclaim November 20th, 2015 as Tarrant County Adoption Day, in witness whereof we are herein to set our hands and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 17th day of November 2015, and I'll move its approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. This is a great effort that is put on by many folks, and we appreciate it very much. Let's get a picture here. We all got pictures. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Comments you'd like to make?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Court. We have 40 families and 66 children that are going to be adopted on Friday. We have several sibling groups, and we are very excited this year. We have a special theme. It is superhero theme. We have 23 superheroes coming to the courthouse to help celebrate this momentous occasion with all of our families. The proclamation will be presented at a brief speech on Friday morning at 8:30 in the family courthouse on the second floor, and we welcome all of you to attend. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you did. Commissioner Wynn, I believe you have a proclamation.
Yes, Your Honor, on Veterans Day, I had the honor of presenting a proclamation to the Tarrant County Veterans Council for hosting one of the best Veteran Day Parade, which is right here in Fort Worth. And this year's theme is to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War. And today, sir, I would like to have the proclamation ratified and also presented to Constable Del Clark, who is one of the key driver of the parade. And he also serves on the council as a member of the board. So I would like, if you don't mind, please read it into the record, please.
Whereas the 11th of November 1918 marked the end of hostilities between the Allied nations and Germany and is generally considered the end of the war to end all wars, going into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And whereas it is fitting that the anniversary of this date should be observed with remembrance and gratitude for all veterans who have made tremendous sacrifice to protect our freedom. And whereas the Tarrant County Veterans Council, founded in 1971, is a commemorative partner of the Vietnam War commemoration and supports our military and programs that sustain veterans and their families. And whereas the Tarrant County Veterans Council is well known for the Fort Worth Veterans Day Parade, they host each year to pay respect to all veterans for their patriotism and willingness to serve. And whereas the theme of the 2015 parade is honoring our Vietnam veterans on the 50th anniversary of the war, and whereas in honor of the 50th anniversary, it is important that we remember and pay tribute to all veterans of the Vietnam War, including those who were held as prisoners of war or listed as missing in action, and thank and honor their families. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby proclaim November the 11th as Veterans Day in Tarrant County. And further, we encourage all of our citizens to show gratitude and reverence to all the men and women who have bravely served our great country during the Vietnam War and in all wars as well as in times of peace. In witness whereof, we have herein to set our hands and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 17th day of November 2015.
Thank you, Your Honor, and I move for its approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Constable Clark, would you please meet me at the podium? Thank you for your service. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
On behalf
behalf of the Veterans Council, I want to accept this acknowledgement, and I want to thank the court for doing it. And I want to thank Andy for being there. It was the largest parade we've ever had. And we remembered the Vietnamese soldiers and American soldiers that were there. And it's always a moving day. And you got to witness the largest parade we've ever had in Fort Worth.
Thank you for having me.
Dale.
Thank you.
It's also come to my attention, Vinny, stand up for a second, that the Tarrant County Public Health has just received notifications that we are now a Public Health Accreditation Board, accredited local health department. Now, you think, okay, is that?
What does that mean?
What does it mean?
Translation, please.
What it means is it is pretty special.
It is.
When you consider that it is only the second health department in the state of Texas to achieve this accreditation. The only other health department in the state that is accredited is the city of Houston. So we are the only county that is accredited, and it is a big award. And Vinny, thank you and congratulations. And please express that to all the folks in your department, because I know that it takes a whole team to do this.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And if I may, we'll try to bring them next week, actually, for a more formal discussion.
Great. Thank you all. Court members, you have before you the consent agenda.
Move approval.
Second. A motion is second to approve the consent agenda. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. McMillan is going to present the first item.
Judge Commissioners, last week you were briefed on the American Airlines proposal for the redevelopment of the former Sabre building site off of American Boulevard for the construction of a new $350 million headquarters campus. At that time, staff laid out a recommendation for county and hospital district tax abatement at a maximum of 70% of new real and personal property value for a period of 10 years, beginning with a base abatement of 60% and providing for up to 10% additional abatement for employment and performance-based criteria. Since that time, the City of Fort Worth has approved a 15-year tax abatement and economic development program agreement, and has asked now that American Airlines, to enable American Airlines to proceed with project development as soon as possible, the Commissioners Court has requested to approve a resolution providing its intent to participate in tax abatement. And following the execution of the City of Fort Worth's tax abatement agreement and all necessary approvals from other governmental bodies, the Commissioners Court will then be asked to take action at a future date on an actual formal tax abatement agreement based on the terms in the term sheet. So today we're asking Commissioners Court to approve the resolution providing for the Commissioners Court intent to participate with the City of Fort Worth in tax abatement for the American Airlines corporate headquarters project as set forth in the term sheet, which is attached to the resolution as Exhibit A.
I move approval for adoption of the term sheet and the intent to enter into an agreement with American Airlines. But I would encourage American Airlines to try to come to a permanent agreement with the Grapevine Colleyville School District over the situs of your fleet. That would be very helpful.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Mr. Mendez is going to present item number 2.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As the court is aware, the Galveston County Commissioners Court is currently in a dispute with members of the judiciary in the county since the termination of an individual by the county judge there. The implications of this case, which is now before the Court of Appeals, has statewide implications in that it seeks to address two very important issues to all counties in the state of Texas. Galveston County is currently trying to defend the well-defined authority of county commissioners' courts in budgetary matters within each county, which includes the hiring and firing of personnel. and the principles of due process applicable to district court oversight of county commissioners' courts, which is allowed by the Constitution, but is only may be invoked where the commissioners' court clearly abuses the discretion of their authority. So these issues are before that Court of Appeals, and Galveston County has been briefing the Conference of Urban Counties on this issue, and they are seeking support of other counties, and that's what this resolution is for, and we are seeking your consideration and approval.
Move approval.
Second. I would just say that the policy committee at CUC has been looking into this. It's been going on now for probably close to a year, and it really does touch it at who has responsibility for being able to hire certain folks, and then what their compensation will be, and different parts of that. Even to the extent that this particular district judge issued an order, a restraining order, and then also issued another order saying the court could not hire any counsel or do anything that would challenge what he did. So it was, it's been a real circus. We've been following it. The CUC did actually file I guess it was an amicus brief in this particular matter also, but they've asked for the courts to consider resolutions, and so that's what this is about. Any discussion or questions? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mark.
Move to receive and file personnel agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the personnel agenda. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you for being here today.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Glenn.
Good morning. Vinny.
Morning, members of the court. We have one item before you for approval today. It is the data use agreement with the Texas Health and Human Services Enterprise Agency, and it affects pretty much all our agreements with DSHS and any other HHSC enterprise organizations.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Transportation, Bill Riley. We'll make you last. Somebody said there was something in this courtroom before, I just.
Seek the approval of an interlocal agreement with the City of Fort Worth related to the improvements of Norwood Drive. It's in combination of Precinct 3 and Precinct 1.
Move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Commissioner Brooks.
Generally, 1 comes before 3, not the other way around.
You'd just be better off to go ahead and go on.
Okay.
I've got an interlocal agreement with the City of Fort Worth relating to various improvements at Eugene McCray Park and the accompanying permission to begin work on that project. I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Are there any appointments? There being none, then I reluctantly call on Mr. Beecham to come forward with the purchasing. I did go down and kind of, get abused a little bit yesterday. I thought there was something up here that I expected to hear something up here today.
I expected to hear you call the hog.
No, I done called them hogs once.
Email is a wonderful thing. Email is a wonderful thing.
Okay.
What a beautiful red dress you're wearing, Tina.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The skeleton is back in the closet.
It's jumped out and nipped you before.
Maybe never to be found again.
The cup is an early Thanksgiving gift.
What cup?
Just check your email, Commissioner Johnson.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Wrong person.
We have two items for your consideration this morning. Our first item is a bid award recommendation for bid 2016-006, annual contract for the purchase of police package vehicles. Recommendation is bid to award on a pre-enterprise basis, awarding certain items to the primary vendors as shown in court communicated to meet all specifications.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And our last item is a bid award recommendation for bid 2016-008. This is our annual contract for paper and plastic products. Our recommendation will be to award on a pre-enterprise basis, awarding to the primary and secondary vendors as shown in court communicated to meet all specifications.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
I was going to be humble, but it just didn't work.
Well, as I told you yesterday, as I recall, when I kind of gave you a little grief over Toledo, I said those words might come back to haunt me. Yeah, well, they did. But that's never stopped me before. Court members, you have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the claims, including the addendum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims, including the addendum. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Briefing items, Mr. Armanius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the Court, we have two items to bring to you this morning. The first is a description of a program, Easy Ride Employer Pass Program. Ms. Worthy is here to address the Court at this time.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The county has participated with the T's Bus Pass Employer Program since 2001, and each year we have purchased our passes and offered those to the employees at a discounted rate, with the county subsidizing between 42% and 47% of the cost of those passes. There are three types of passes: a regional pass, which has very wide ridership, a Zone 1 pass, which has a little bit limited, and then the local pass that's for the T services only. In the past, or currently in 2015, a regional pass has a total cost of $120, with the employee paying $55 annually. The Zone 1 has a total cost of $95, with the employee paying a cost of $45 annually, and the local has a total cost of $70, with the employee paying $30. We have approximately a little over 120 participants currently in the program. With 2016, they have proposed a significant increase. That $120 annual pass will go to $1,200. The zone, don't shoot the messenger.
Go out there and get that AEP and bring that sucker in here because we may need it.
The Zone 1 pass will go from a total annual cost of $95 to $600, and the local will go from a total annual cost of $70 to $450. We have had quite a few conversations with representatives from the T in trying to work through this. All the employers are struggling with this as they are increasing their costs significantly to all employers. And they've offered us a variety of ways to utilize this system. Currently, the way it's being proposed, if you sell an annual pass, you can do that between January and July, with them being prorated. After July, they have to be sold in monthly passes, or they have offered us the ability to offer those passes to be purchased on a monthly basis, where the employee would come in each month and purchase a pass. We also have had conversations with the auditor's office about this, and the challenges of doing a monthly where the employees came and went, each month. I will tell you the auditor's office is not supportive of doing an individual pass being sold on a monthly basis. Certainly, we could offer an annual pass that we did a monthly deduction. So let's say for the annual pass, for a regional pass, that could be divided and done a payroll deduction by a monthly basis. Now, if we were to subsidize those passes in a similar fashion to the way we are subsidizing them now, that $1,200 pass on an annual basis would cost the employee $550. The Zone 1 would cost $284, and the local would cost $189 if we continue to subsidize them. So I'm happy to answer questions if I can, or hear from you if in the direction you wish for us to go with this.
I want to make a little bit of a comment. I mean, Robin and I talked about this, and when she first came, I thought I had the same, I gasped just about the same way y'all did. And so I did check to see what similar passes were running in DART or the DCTA, realizing that when we talk about a regional pass, what that regional pass means is that you can take that pass and you can ride on any transit vehicle, whether it be a bus, whether it be a train, whether it be the light rail, whether it be commuter rail, anywhere on any one of the three systems, the Fort Worth system, the DART system, the Denton system. And when I checked on that, DART is charging $1,200 for that. Has been charging $1,200 for that, as has Denton. That works out to be about $3.29 a day. That you could basically, if you were of a mind to do that, I mean, you could travel all over the 3 or 4 counties for that $3.29 a day. Now, granted, you were in the past able to do that for 33 cents a day. And so it is a huge increase, and it's certainly one that, you know, it affects us because of the fact that we pay that. But I think what it, right, wrong, or indifferent, what it does demonstrate is that it is comparable. We have a deputy, in the course of my phone calls, we have a deputy who lives up in Garland and takes the light rail to Union Station, the TRE over to Fort Worth, and then up to the jail where he works. So he's been able to do that for 33 cents a day, and now it's going to cost him, if he chooses to do it, it's going to cost him $3.29 a day to do that. In the past, that's assuming that in the past he chose to buy it from Tarrant County for $120 for what he would have cost him $1,200 to have bought it over in Dallas. Now, we had a hell of a deal up until apparently this year, and so I think we need to decide. I mean, I certainly feel like going from what we had been providing as 55 to now 550 is certainly a bigger commitment from our standpoint. But I don't know how many of the people have decided what they're going to do, because they're going to go from paying, I guess, 65 to 650 under the 1,200 under the regional effort.
It would go from $55 annually for the employee cost to $550 for the regional, and we have approximately 60 participants right now.
I thought you said that we were paying the 55 and they were paying the 65.
No, sir. We're paying on the 120. We're paying the 65, and they're paying the 55.
So we're paying more than 50%,
yes,
not
sir.
40-something%.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So, I mean, it's a big commitment, and that, while it sounds tremendously, what it sounds like is that in the past, the T was basically charging 1/10 of what everybody else was charging for the same thing.
My only reaction to this is that they should beware of unintended consequences. The Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex has been for many, many years a non-attainment area in terms of ozone and other air quality issues. And it just seems to me that the effect of this decision is going to be to add more cars to the road. And that ain't what they really want to do.
So the question that you're briefing us right now, you're not asking, I don't guess, for any,
No, sir.
but the action that we as a court need to at least be pondering for some sort of a decision is whether we're going to continue to subsidize under the same percentages as we have subsidized in the past. And it's not an action that we're requiring or that we're asking for today. But if you said we had 100 and how many?
About 125 or so out of our 4,200 employees.
Have you gone back and determined what the cost would be to us if everybody that has done it in the past does it in the future and we maintain the same percentages?
I have not calculated that because I anticipate there would be a significant drop-off in ridership at that price. That's just an anticipation.
But at least from our standpoint, would you please do that and then maybe send something and then?
Yeah, we can do that.
We've actually even had a drop-off in ridership with the lower fuel prices, I think. At one time we had a high of about 225 participants, and it's
But that's
lower
coming?
this year.
Well, that'll come in the next couple of weeks, so just be prepared that, and be thinking a little bit about that from
But
that standpoint.
how does one qualify for the program?
They
Pardon
go
me?
up and say, we want to buy a pass.
They just want to go
Yeah.
buy the pass.
Currently, the way this works is the employees come to the Human Resources Office and fill out some paperwork that authorizes us to deduct that money at one time out of their check. And if they're a new participant in the program, then they have to go down to the T, get a photo ID card made. We actually give them a sticker that says 2016 on it. If they're returning, then they just come in, fill out the paperwork again, and get a new sticker. So I would assume that we would continue a similar process.
And I just want to point out that the issue with us is that from a payroll deduction standpoint, we can't have people going in and out of programs monthly for the paperwork and the reconciliation. So certainly we can accommodate taking out on a 12-month basis or a longer-term basis the entire amount that the employee needs to pay for the pass. If they need to buy the annual pass and pay for it, if they were to terminate prior to their full payroll deductions, then we would have to try, as Robin mentioned, we'd have to try to recover that from their final check. But there could be, it's a situation where there could be some loss to the county. But we're willing to do it on a deduction basis as long as they sign up for an annual pass. We're not equipped to be able to handle people buying a pass this month and then not buying one next month and buying one the month after that, and starting and stopping deductions.
Thank you, Ms. Ward.
Thank you.
Members of the Court, if we can go to item B. This is a presentation by Ag Extension. It's Annie's Project Educational Program. Dr. Jacobson, are you going to start this, or? Members from the Ag Department are going to be here to address the board.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. We're very proud of this project, and Laura Miller has provided, and Marion Ross have provided leadership for it here locally in Tarrant County. And Jason Johnson is a specialist with AgriLife Extension out of Stephenville, and he's provided support for the program statewide level. So they'll be presenting the presentation today.
Well, thank you. This is not going to cost you a penny. I'm really happy to be able to talk about Annie's Project today. Annie's Project has been held in, I believe, 34 states. Is that correct, Jason? Jason would know. And I first learned of it when I was working as an extension agent in Florida. And I wanted to do it then and didn't have that opportunity. So it's something I have been wanting to do for about 10 years. So you know how that's kind of exciting to get to do something like that. But Annie's Project is, can advance the slides, designed to help women in agriculture, female farmers, develop that kind of local educational one-to-one network that is so valuable in many different kinds of work, especially in agriculture, which is really complicated in many ways. There's a lot of different things to learn, not just about how to grow things, but also about how to interact with various governmental and regulatory agencies, and we tried to kind of gather up a lot of good information. That's Barbara Zieg, who was one of the participants. She's holding a flat of strawberry plants. It was kind of a new initiative to get more strawberry production locally. So go ahead and change it on up. This
Okay,
is just.
do you have a keyboard?
I do. No, I'm sorry. Well, then I will just use that. Thank you. Okay, the down button. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Jason, do you want to just step up here and say anything?
My name is Jason Johnson. I'm an agricultural economist, and I'm the state coordinator for for Texas Annie's Project. I serve on the national board for the not-for-profit, and it was a tremendous honor and privilege to be able to bring this particular program to Tarrant County, to work with Laura, to work with Marion Ross. We had we began with 21 women.
I've got our numbers.
Okay, we began with 21 participants, 18 graduated. Those 18 participants owned or managed land in 21 different counties, about 18,000 acres collectively. And so these are real ag producers. And the main thing I want to leave you with is the reason we reached out to this particular audience is because many times they do not have, for better or worse, the coffee shop network to collaborate with other ag producers that traditionally men in agriculture have. That paired with the fact that 90% of women will eventually, at some point in time, be managing the checkbook for the family and the farm. And so what this program was designed to do was not to make anyone a farmer or rancher who wasn't one already, but to better prepare them to be managers of information and better decision makers and better partners, so that regardless of the situations that come up, they were better able to know who to ask, to have colleagues and have a support network in place, and feel confident in asking the questions that they've never been able to ask anyone. And that's where the individual county extension agents form a very vital role in becoming part of that trusted support network.
Okay. We did have a lot of diversity in production interests, in years of experience, and that was really nice to see them interact with each other and work together. We had speakers from all these different agencies, which was great. I learned a lot. And then we evaluated on a number of different things, and we saw significant gains in knowledge and in, that doesn't show up very well, but what is that? It's like their intentions to do things. So some of them actually, the first column is things that they actually got done while they were still in their 6-week class, and the second column was things that they plan to do later on. These are just some quotes from our participants. It was a really rewarding experience for us. I think I can speak for Marion and Jason, is that we were excited every Thursday night to go get together with these women, and usually every Thursday night someone would say, "Can I just tell you about what I did this week?" And it was so exciting to hear what they were learning and what they were doing. So that's pretty much what we have for you. We'd like to thank you for your support for Texas A&M AgriLife Extension and all the things that we do, and there's our lovely group of ladies, and they thank you too.
Thank you very much for doing this program for women in the farming industry. It's much needed, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Your Honor, that's all we have at this time.
Then we'll recess our open meeting and proceed to close to discuss items exempt under Section Having returned from our closed session, we'll now address the following matters.
Good morning, Commissioners. The District Attorney's Office is here before you asking approval of a settlement agreement and release in cause number 017-275-132-14, styled Jessica Thompson versus Tarrant County. This settlement is a settlement of all claims that Jessica Thompson may have or has had against Tarrant County in the amount of $16,000. The settlement authorizes payment to Luke Bickham, PC, and Jessica Thompson, and we ask that the Commissioners Court authorize the auditor to release the check immediately without it first appearing on the claims agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion is second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
We are adjourned.
Cool. One.